Welcome to today's mobility routine. Let's start by finding a spot on your mat, face up. Take a few seconds to just clear your head, get nice and chill. Let's just start to slow everything down. Fall into a nice relaxing rhythm with your breath. Direct that air deep into that diaphragm. And as you let go of that air, just imagine letting go of all your stress, all your anxiety, anything holding you back in life or weighing you down. Just breathe it all out. And allow yourself to get centered and focused on what's going on right here, right now. Take a scan through your body. Feel for anything tense, whether that's your face, your head, or your neck, your traps. Relaxing through those shoulders, your biceps, your triceps, your pecs, your lats. Feel yourself just get limp and get heavy and sink into your mat. Just take one more nice, deep, relaxing breath here, directing that air in that diaphragm. We'll slowly sigh with that breath. And we'll start today's routine on the left levator. So levator is basically part of the traps family. It sits above your left shoulder blade, basically in between your shoulder blade and your neck. And if you're not an anatomy person, don't stress whether you're on the exact right location. Just feel out that area. When you found a spot that's tense and needs attention, experiment a little with how you're going to address that tension. You're going to roll on that ball. You're going to roll side to side, front to back. We're just going to hang out statically on that ball. We're going to work on this levator with your arm in an overhead position. These are just all options to experiment with. Once you've found that right version of the exercise, the right location, right pressure, settle back to your breath. Get nice and passive. And challenge yourself to get a little more relaxed with each passing breath. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll shift our attention into the right side. So again, looking for a spot in between your shoulder blade and the base of your neck. And don't worry about whether you're on the exact spot of the levator, whether it's traps or something else. As long as we're not on a bone and it's an area that needs attention, just settle in. Let that be your focus. And then center yourself back in your breath. Find that rhythm and pace and shape of breath that helps your mind relax. And scan through your body. Anything that's carrying tension that we don't absolutely need right now, just imagine breathing it out. Let it go to sleep. It can be useful to release this area while your arm is in an overhead position. You can increase the tension by lifting the hips off the ground. Think of all these options as just a menu to pick from. Feel out what works best for you. Take one more breath. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll shift our attention to the left side, Serratus Interior. So the serratus sits on the front side of your ribs, and this can be an area that restricts that overhead range. But like the lats, like the pecs, it can be useful to work on your serratus with your arm in an overhead position. And again, if you're not super in tune with your anatomy, you're not sure what your serratus muscle is, don't worry, don't stress. Just feel at that area. Feel out what needs attention. And then feel out how you're going to address that area. It's fine to roll in the tissue, fine to roll with the fibers or against the fibers, or just hang out statically. All of these options work to varying degrees, and what's going to work best really depends on you. Depends on your anatomy, your pain tolerance, your injury history, your age. The only real way to find out what works best for you is by trying it. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll shift our attention to the right side. So if you found a good target area in the left, feel free to start on that same serratus area on the right. And if it doesn't feel like it needs the same attention, feel free to search for an area nearby that might. And then settle into the right amount of pressure, the right angle of pressure, the right posture. And once you're there, take your attention back to your breath. Try your best to keep this target area synced to your lungs. As you breathe out air, imagine breathing out tension. And again, as the breaths go on, as the seconds go on through this routine, challenge yourself to get a little bit deeper into that relaxed state. Keep your mind clear. Keep your attention on your breath. And just work on those chill vibes. Let those relaxed vibes spread out through your whole body. We'll take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll shift into the left side, subscapularis. So the subscap is a tricky area to access directly. It sits on the anterior side of your shoulder blade. So really it's in quotes. We're just thinking about hitting the outside part of your armpit. And if this is a new area to work on, as always, go nice and easy as you work your way in. There's no need to be too aggressive right off the bat. Feel out how your body's responding. If you've been working this area for a while, feel free to add a bit more pressure, and always let pain be your guide. We want no pain, no numbness. Just pressure release. And once you've settled into that area, you've settled into your stimulus, take your attention back to your breath. Generally, when we slow that breath down, it helps slow our whole physiology down. Find that rhythm that works for you. We'll take one more breath. We'll slowly sigh out that breath and shift to the right side. Searching through that right subscapularis area, that lateral side of your armpit. Start with a search. You can use a lacrosse ball here. You can use the fingertips or a thumb or a fist. Feel out what your body's going to respond to best today. And once you're in that stimulus, concentrate on getting passive. Just breathing out that tension, any stress, any anxiety. Just allow yourself to settle into your happy place. And if you do like counting your breath, counting the duration of the inhale, a brief hold, the exhale, and a brief hold with your breath out, that's totally fair game. That'll be on your own, at your own pace. And if you are counting your breaths, remember to try to be progressive. We'll take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll shift into some left shoulder traction. So we'll do this traction exercise in the child's pose version. So get yourself into a bowing position. You're going to pin your left wrist to your mat with your right hand and gently lean backwards to get a really subtle pull in around that shoulder joint. Like every other exercise, there is a hard rule. We don't press into pain. If there's any pain at all, just ease off on that tension. Feel out a version that your body's okay with today. And settle back to your breath. Nice relaxing rhythm. Nice diaphragmatic breaths. Let's take one more good, deep, relaxing breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll shift to the right side. Start by pinning that right wrist to your mat with your left hand and gently leaning away to get a subtle pull in around that shoulder joint. And again, settle into the right version, the right tension. Feel out what's going to work best for you today. And then concentrate back on your breath. Nice relaxing rhythm with your breath. Use that breath to calm your mind. Use your mind to calm your body. Relax that tension in your face, your head, your neck. Just breathe it all out. We'll take one more breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll transition into a seated extension. So sitting up on your butt, place your hands behind your hips at about hip width. And just slowly shift your hips forward until you feel a nice little stretch. Those anterior delts, a little bit of pecs. As always, working within your pain-free limits. And then concentrate on getting as passive as you can in this position. There are some muscles we need here. We don't need your muscles in your face. Your legs can just totally go limp. And then try to get as passive as you can through the front side of those shoulders. And just relax into the position. And in 10 seconds, we'll gently get active by attempting to reverse this stretch by imagine shrinking the space between your palms and your hips. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy. Imagine dragging the floor towards your hips, ramping up that tension as we go. Let's finish with a big squeeze. 3, 2, 1, and let's gently reverse that. Now attempting to increase the space between your hands and your hips. Ramping up that tension as we go. Let's finish with a big squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax. Get nice and passive. Submit to the position. Mentally go to your happy place. Run through your checklist of anything that might be on or tense. And just mentally hit that off switch. Let it all go. Let's take one more breath here. And as you sigh at that breath, grab your PVC pipe or broomstick. and move ourselves into an external rotation stretch and an overhead bias. So if you start by grabbing that pipe with your left hand, bend that pipe back towards your body, grab it underneath with your right hand, pulling it across your body. And then if you bias yourself into an overhead by moving your arm up and out to 45 degrees, that's our target. So just feel out what feels right for today. Get nice and passive in the position. Your right arm is doing some work here, but really try to get passive through that left side. And in 10 seconds, we'll gently get active by attempting to reverse this stretch. That's going to be like your arm wrestling this pipe towards the front of your body. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy. Active with both arms, slowly ramping up tension as we work our way through. Let's really ramp it up here. Last 5, big squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Attempt to use your left arm to pull yourself deeper into this stretch. Ramping up tension as we go. Squeezing through that shoulder. Last 5, big squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax, nice and passive. Submit to this position. We're going to be fairly active with that right arm to hold the stretch, but really try to relax through that left side. And if we're finding depth in the stretch, it's by relaxing that left shoulder. We'll take one more long, slow, deep, relaxing breath here. Let's slowly sigh out that breath, and we'll shift to the right side. So grabbing that pipe with your right hand, bend it back towards your body, grab it from underneath with your left, pull it across your body to pull yourself into that external rotation, and then we'll bias this by moving that elbow up and out to 45 degrees overhead. And as always, we're working within our pain-free limits. If there's any pain here, find a version of this where you don't have pain. That is a hard rule, really our only hard rule. Work within your pain-free limits. And once you've found that stretch, concentrate on getting passive through that right side. And in 10 seconds, we'll start to work to reverse this stretch using your right arm by attempting to reverse that pipe towards your midline. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy. Actively trying to rotate that pipe forward, ramping up tension as we go. Let's finish with a big squeeze here. Last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse, working with this right shoulder to try to actively pull yourself deeper into that stretch. Ramping up tension as we go. Big squeeze here. Last 5, 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax, nice and passive. Just submit to that position. Left arm's active, right arm is nice and passive. Get as passive as you can through that right side. Again, if we're finding depth here, it's by relaxing through that right shoulder. Scanning through your body for anything that's tense that we are able to relax right now. Just let it go. One more breath here. We'll sigh out that breath. And we'll move into some left arm circles. So we'll just start by moving that left arm through a giant circle, lifting your thumb up towards the sky, keeping your arm nice and straight. Slowly bringing that arm behind your head into an overhead, twisting that thumb to face forwards. Really making yourself work towards the back side of your body until we're back to start. As you work your way through the minute, just challenge yourself to get a little further and deeper into this stretch and position every rep. The harder we work here, the bigger benefit we get. Working within your pain-free limits, but really challenge yourself to try to carve out new range, especially where you find you struggle most. Let's give a good squeeze here to finish off this last rep. Take a sigh out, and we'll switch to the right side. So we're repeating the same range of motion through this right shoulder. Lift that right shoulder up, keeping the elbow nice and locked. Reaching as far as you can into that overhead position. And all the way back behind your head in that full circle. Challenge yourself to do all of this motion through the shoulder, not rotating through your trunk. And again, challenge yourself to find new range here. It can be helpful sometimes to give a second wind push when you feel like you've hit a wall. Just give a subtle nudge further into that position to really make those shoulders work. Let's really give it a good squeeze here for these last 10, challenging those shoulders into new limits. And we'll finish off this last rep you're on. Take another nice, deep, relaxing breath. Sigh out that breath. And we'll call it a day. Thanks for joining us here for some shoulder mobility with the 5-pillar mobility. Hope you enjoyed the routine. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please do like it and subscribe. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.